Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ISO GOAT here, back again for another video. Definitely have a lot of information to give to you guys in this past weekend. Let me start this by saying I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I have any financial experience whatsoever. Do not invest in anything solely based off my opinions or anything that I say in this video until you've done your own due diligence and your own research first. Never throw money into anything you don't understand, and never throw in more money than you are willing to lose. With that being said, there is a lot, so this is just going to be rapid fire news. I just wrote down a couple of things just based off this clubhouse I was on this past weekend. You know, a lot of different events and everything circulated over the weekend as well, and we're still getting more news today. So let me start this by saying, obviously, you know, we know about this whole FTX thing. I'm sure you guys have watched a couple of other YouTubers in regards to that. But apparently, his dad is actually an expert. This is SBF that I'm referring to in tax shelters. So they're definitely looking into him now, along with SBF, we'll just refer to him as that. He's actually been detained in the Bahamas as well. And like I said, they're looking into the dad, so not sure how far the rabbit hole goes, but we shall be finding out very soon. In addition, Kraken froze accounts of FTX and Alameda employees. I'm sure you guys have heard about this. So long story short, the FTX hacker that supposedly took, I think it was billions of dollars if I'm not mistaken, funded their actual wallet from the Kraken exchange. So they are still investigating and looking into that. This should be pretty interesting. Like I said, this rabbit hole probably goes really deep. We're just seeing the surface level right now. In addition, the World Economic Forum recently deleted FTX off of the website. So clearly they are severing ties and they don't want any association with that. Not quite sure what's going on with that, but I'm sure we will find more about it. If you check the website, it's basically been scrubbed. Crypto.com. So this should be interesting. Apparently, Crypto.com sent $1 billion in stablecoins to FTX prior to the collapse. So it looks like they may have some kind of implications. I'm not saying they do, but there is some kind of connection somewhere, and somehow they are tied to this situation. So we shall be finding out very soon on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Just kidding. Yeah, so they're looking into Crypto.com. Some people have been having issues moving things off Crypto.com. I'm not quite sure myself. I don't really use the app. I do have Crypto.com, but I don't really use it that often. Issues with banks, things like that. I'll get into that. But basically, they're swapping coins. Oh, yes. It was noted that several exchanges were potentially, this is, you know, I'm not saying this is true, but were swapping coins to make it look like they have enough on reserves. Apparently, Gate.io is involved, Huobi, and Crypto.com. So this brings more exchanges into the mix with this whole FTX collapse. Things are getting real dicey right about now, just as a heads up. You know, like I said, I'll try to keep you guys updated as I find out stuff as well. So definitely keep an eye out and definitely be wary keeping your stuff on exchanges. With FTX going down, you know, this is having, you know, ripple effects obviously throughout the market. Obviously the market's down, which, you know, it's like Christmas right now. It's a buying opportunity, but that's just my opinion. I'm a regular Joe Schmo. But yeah, it's affecting a lot of people, and there's a lot of high level people that might be involved in this whole FTX. I don't know if you want to call it a scandal, fraud, whatever. But we will be finding out very soon, like I said. Back to the news. So apparently with FTX, I also heard, I think this was in maybe Digital Perspectives video, that FTX was basically making onboarding easy, and then some of their businesses that had higher amounts of cryptocurrencies were required to keep it on the actual FTX exchange. Things are not looking too good for FTX as of now. You know, and then I also heard, I think that also was on Digital Perspectives, that apparently there was some kind of backdoor way to get the funds out. That I don't know. You know, I'm still looking into that myself. You know, if anybody else knows anything about some of these things that I've dropped in here, just let me know. Just drop some links in there. I'd be more than happy to look at it. Just trying to stay in tune with everything going on. So apparently, also, FTX had zero Bitcoin assets. Obviously, it recently listed, you know, as bankrupt, for those that don't know. And yet there's 1.4 billion in Bitcoin liability, so something's not really adding up there. Something to look into. I'm sure it will be looked into at some point. Also, another key thing. Actually, we'll go this route first. So there's an article I want you guys to check out. It's called New York Fed, Several Big Banks Testing Regulated Liability Network. So this is actually it's a relatively short article. It includes a couple of participants: Citibank, Bank of America, BNY Mellon, and HSBC, along with MasterCard as well as Swift. So obviously this would catch your eye if you know what's going on with Swift. So the New York Fed is expected to announce a regulated liability network proof of concept early next week. Now, mind you, this was from last week on, is the date in here, November 11th. So this week. I'm just going to read you the first paragraph. I'm not even going to go into all this. At this point, if this isn't eye-opening for some of you guys out there, then I don't know what is. Like, it literally has to slap you across the face. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York is poised to unveil a proof of concept for regulated liability networks, an experiment around tracking and transmitting tokenized debt issued by an array of regulated financial institutions. Which ledger? I don't even know what to say at this point. Tokenized debt. I actually did a video on this a couple of videos back. I can't remember. It's like 50-some videos at this point. But tokenized debt. They were talking about putting assets and debt on top of the XRP ledger. Okay? There's no other ledger that has that proof of concept that is looking into doing anything similar to that. Okay? You can issue debts, you can issue liabilities and all that on the XRP ledger. Not saying a spade is a spade, but if you want to look into it, all power to you. Some people probably think that's Bitcoin still. That's perfectly fine. You think it's Bitcoin, hold your Bitcoin. But yeah, I'm going to link this article in the bottom of the video as well. Let me see here. What else was in here? I think that was pretty much the main thing. That just caught my eye. Like, obviously read through there's a couple more paragraphs, but read through it, take a look at it, just give me your opinions. You can comment at the bottom, that's fine. Last thing I wanted to talk about, at least at this point, Fox, I think it was Channel 5 News. So I don't know if you guys saw earlier. Apparently, there was a couple links circulating in regards to a potential settlement tomorrow regarding Ripple and the SEC. I think John Deaton mentioned that November 15th was a pretty big day. Obviously everybody has different opinions on this. Supposedly it came out and it was fake. Cool, no power, all power to that. But I found it interesting because Eleanor Terry actually cleared that up as well, saying that it was fake. But I don't know. I find it interesting that I can't believe that they dropped something like that, without any kind of like thought, like why would they just drop something like that? I feel like there's probably more to it. Maybe they're not wanting to tell us yet. Maybe the settlement has happened. Who knows? I'm not saying it has, but you don't just randomly drop something like that. Like there has to be some kind of substance or something behind it, whether it's hearsay, whatever, but I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. Like I said, I'm prepared for anything. November 21st is the date I'm shooting for. Go live, obviously, but that's just me. And there's a lot of events and stuff going on this week, which I'll actually touch on as well. But definitely check it out. I think it's on YouTube. You can find the video. But it's SEC versus Ripple settlement expected tomorrow. Like I said, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's definitely something to keep up. It caught my attention. It caught a lot of people's attention that are invested, especially in XRP. But, we shall see. The clock is ticking right now. Eventually, this thing is not going to last forever. At some point, it will end, okay? And I think that they're going to surprise us with when it ends. Maybe they're waiting for perfect timing. Who knows? Obviously, a lot of this stuff is probably planned in advance. That's just my opinion. Some people may not believe that philosophy. That's perfectly fine. But like I said, keep your eyes on a swivel. And one more thing I wanted to drop, just to not make this video too long. So I think something big is going to happen early this week. So on today, the 14th, as I mentioned in a prior video, Congress is actually back in session. That's the Senate and the House of Representatives. Today also is the start of the G20 Bali Summit, and then also goes into tomorrow, Tuesday. Also on Tuesday, the 15th, Ripple summary judgment, fully briefed, happens as well. Wednesday, the 16th, Christine Lagarde and the ECB Eurozone go live with an update/statement. So she's making some kind of announcement of some sort on what's going on. So that Wednesday will probably be a day you want to, keep your eye on. And then obviously Ripple Swell, as well as I've mentioned prior, starts on the 16th, which is, I think, also Wednesday. And then day 2 is on the 17th. Now, a lot of these things are happening all in the same week, okay? I don't know what to say at this point, to be honest. I'm at a loss of words. Like I feel like D-Day is coming very soon, okay? For those that have not prepared, I recommend you get prepared ASAP. Market is bleeding out right now. And, a lot of people would be crying about it. I wouldn't be crying about it. It's a buying opportunity. You can get 2-for-1s. You can get 3-for-1s. Now is the time, okay? Now is when legends are made, okay? When everything is going on, everything's going down, everybody's feeling negative sentiment about the market, you have to have that positive sentiment. You have to do that research. You have to look into these things and take advantage of these things while they are down, not when they are priced at a higher price, okay? That's the problem with people nowadays. They think that, something has to be expensive for it to be valuable. And why would you want to pay for something expensive when you can get it for a discount right now? obviously make sure you do your research into whatever you're investing in. ISO 20022 utility is coming, okay? I don't care if it's 2 years out. I don't care if it's a week out. I don't care if it's 3 years out, okay? Now is the time to stack your bags. If you have not prepared, you better get prepared. That's all I'm going to say, okay? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That's how it is. At the end of the day, some people can just top off their bag at this point. Some people have been looking into this for some time, whether it's months, whether it's weeks. At the end of the day, you have gotten into this space, okay? And you've come to this channel, and I'm trying to steer everybody in the right direction. Obviously, I don't know everything. I'm here with you. We're all struggling through this together. I'm not too worried. I have my feet kicked up to this point, okay? With everything that's going on, all the research and everything, you can look at a lot of different YouTubers. And I'm not even talking about just me. There's a lot of goats out there in the space. You have T, you have Crypto Lewis, XRP Chiz. There's a lot of people out there that are dropping this information daily, and I don't even do mine daily. I just try to find some information, obviously if there's anything new happening, I try to drop it to you guys, but there's people that have committed their lives to this, okay? Digital perspectives, digital asset investor, like y'all really need to look at some of these channels, and I keep telling you, especially these Bitcoin and ETH maxis, man, you really need to get out of that mindset thinking that, Bitcoin is the one, ETH is the one, these are the only technology and no other technology is ever going to be better. The first is never the best. The telephone, the computer, the wheel, the car, I could keep going, okay? I'm trying to make sure that, everybody has the same equal opportunity, okay? At the end of the day, you came across this channel for a reason. I want you guys to reap the benefit as well, okay? There's no I in team, okay? It's a team effort. And there's a lot of people that help me in the XRP community with getting all this information, and I definitely sincerely appreciate it, okay? Because it really opened my eyes, okay? Like, a lot of people are they're gonna kick themselves later on. I'm just letting you know that now. Right now, we're just waiting on these events to play out, whether it's another black swan, whether that was the black swan, who knows, okay? Regulations have to come at some point. They can't keep kicking the can down the road. The question is, were you prepared for it, or were you trying to get prepared for it after you heard about it? And a lot of people have heard about cryptocurrencies and digital assets and ISO and 20022, and some people don't take a second look. And guess what? That's going to be their downfall right there, okay? It takes a little bit of time to research these things, but there's nuggets out there that will lead you down the path. Whether or not you want to listen, that's up to you and your mindset, okay? Not trying to get too long-winded, but that's pretty much all I have for y'all today. Definitely appreciate y'all. Shout out to the XRP community. I definitely appreciate every single one of y'all. Y'all are really uncovering some serious stuff, and this FTX thing is not going to end very well, in my opinion. Just my opinion. So thanks so much for coming to my channel. Like, comment, subscribe, share with someone. Change their life. And I mean that. ISO Goat out.